Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Coach Cheryl Reeve, head honcho for both the Minnesota Lynx and Team USA, just shut down reporters asking about Caitlin Clark.
Official announcement has not been made by USA Basketball, so it'd be premature for me to have any conversations about any player or anything.
This comes right after Clark, a fiery rookie with the Indiana Fever, led her team to a surprising win against Reeve's Lynx. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. Fans are going wild trying to figure out why Reeve wouldn't answer questions about Clark, who's been scorching the league all season.
Indiana's not a team that's hung their hat on their defense to this point.
This win was just another feather in her cap, and now everyone wants to know what the deal is.
John R. Wooden Women's Player of the Year award presented by Principal, given by the Los Angeles Athletic Club, and this year's award goes to, I know you're going to be shocked by this, Iowa's Caitlin Clark for her record-breaking season. She broke the all-time D1 scoring record, set a new three-point record, came within one win of Iowa's first championship, and then some, and then some, and then some, and we are so excited.
From the jump, Clark had a fire in her eyes. Every touch she had with the ball sent a jolt through the crowd. By the final period, it was like someone flipped a switch. Clark was dialed in. She was draining key shots, finding open teammates, basically everything a baller of her caliber should do. Her stat sheet was lit points, assists, rebounds, the whole package. No wonder she's considered one of the top dogs in the W right now. Gotta say, this performance sends a pretty clear message to Reeve, doesn't it? Like, remember me, the one you snubbed for Team USA? Well, consider this payback televised for everyone to see, dang it, Minnesota. The Lynx, usually known for their lockdown defense, looked like they forgot the playbook last night. Indiana's Fever player Clark just waltzed right past them, and the Lynx offense couldn't buy a bucket. It was like they were stuck in slow motion, missing shots they normally make. You could practically feel the tension rising on the court as the game slipped away in the fourth quarter. They had a decent lead going into the final minutes, but Indiana hit a couple of threes from way downtown, stealing the momentum. The Lynx just couldn't answer back with any points, and everything fell apart. Brutal night for Minnesota. Nothing seemed to go their way. Wow. Caitlin Clark looked like she needed a Snickers bar out there.
I think just the biggest thing is, it's really, really special, and I don't think it's gonna set in for me for quite some time.
Her hands were trembling something fierce. Maybe she hadn't eaten breakfast or something. Speaking of wild things, the crowd was definitely a story itself.
You can always tell when it's a home game day for the Fever because downtown Indy gets flooded with the number 22.
The player of the year, number 22, Caitlin Clark.
Even though Clark wasn't playing on her home turf, there were tons of fans cheering her on. Every time she made a move, it felt like the roof was gonna blow off with how loud they were getting.
Who are you here to see tonight?
Caitlin Clark!
Yeah, I ask all the tough questions. More than 20,000 fans at T-Mobile Arena on Tuesday. Most of them were Iowa Hawkeye or Indiana Fever fans.
Seriously, at some points it felt like a pep rally for her. That kind of energy can seriously pump you up, and it definitely seemed to be working for Clark. The Minnesota crowd buzzed with nervous energy, their cheers echoing off the rafters as the Lynx battled point for point. Even the most hardcore fans, initially decked out in Lynx colors, couldn't help but be impressed by Clark's dominant performance.
Hello, you came from Canada to see...
Saskatchewan, Canada.
That's a long walk.
We drove 23 hours.
Whoa, hold on a second. To see, I'm gonna guess, let me guess.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
By the final buzzer, it felt like she'd earned a begrudging respect from the entire arena. When Clark faced the post-game press conference, a hush fell over the room. Her usual pre-game swagger was gone, replaced by a solemn expression. The weight of the loss seemed to hang heavy on her shoulders. As she fumbled for words, it was clear this defeat hit her hard. You could practically feel the disappointment radiating off her, a stark contrast to the bravado she usually exuded. After the game ended, Reeve's demeanor was noticeably reserved during the media session. When reporters asked about Clark, Reeve's answers were terse and somewhat evasive. It seemed like she was deliberately trying not to highlight Clark's performance any more than necessary. Rather than commenting on Clark's impressive play, Reeve steered the conversation towards her own team's flaws. She pointed out the defensive mistakes and offensive issues, but there was a clear avoidance of discussing Clark. Mentioning Clark's name seemed to only underscore the bitterness of the defeat. Reeve's confidence seemed to have evaporated. The loss stung not just the team, game, but clearly her on a personal level too. You could practically hear the air whoosh out of her after all that boasting. This wasn't the same Reeve who swaggered in talking a big game. Now her shoulders were slumped, her voice barely a murmur, and there was a nervous twitch to her hand that hadn't been there before. It was like someone had yanked the rug out from under her. Reeve might be having some second thoughts, especially about those pre-game comments meant to motivate Clark, but maybe ended up doing the opposite. We all get swept up in the heat of the moment, and for Reeve, this game was a real pressure cooker of frustration. It felt like that time my mom went a little overboard with my 4th grade report card, but as Team USA's head coach, Reeve's words and actions carry a lot of weight. When she seemed to downplay Caitlin Clark's impressive performance, it left some people wondering about her view of rising stars. Team USA is all about bringing together the best of the best, and Reeve's job is to find and develop future greats, leaving any personal feelings out of it. This situation might stir the pot about Reeve's ability to juggle her duties with the Lynx and the national team. A coach at that level absolutely needs to spot and nurture new talent, even if it means the Lynx take a hit in a specific game. It's part of the bigger picture. Clark's scorching WNBA rookie season just got hotter with her dazzling performance at the All-Star game. This comes on the heels of some head-scratching decisions about the national team that left many fans, including Coach Reeve herself, fumbling for answers. Clark's absence from the Team USA roster only adds fuel to the fire of her impressive debut season. This game was another slam dunk for her, showcasing not just her scoring prowess, but also her strategic mind that throws opponents off balance. The league is definitely feeling the Clark effect, and it's clear she's here to stay. Forget about rookie jitters. Clark's impact is undeniable. She's not just racking up points, she's changing the way the game is played, forcing teams to completely rethink their strategies. That's the mark of a true star, and Clark is shining bright. Caitlin Clark isn't just racking up points, she's packing the stands. Her impact goes way beyond the scoreboard. She's a walking hype machine for the WNBA, filling seats and turning on TVs. Every time she laces up her sneakers, it's like she's putting on a performance, and fans are lining up for the show. Take her recent game against the Lynx. The place was electric. Every dribble, every shot, the crowd roared. It's clear Clark's star is rising, and the WNBA is smart to capitalize on it. Her game is bringing in new fans, people who might not have watched the league before, but heard the buzz about Clark. She's exactly what the WNBA needs to elevate its profile. Buzz is building around Indiana's Caitlin Clark. Her teammates are raving about her, gushing over her skill and relentless work ethic. Even rivals admit she's a nightmare matchup, a player they dread facing. Opposing coaches are taking notice too. Some speculate that her dominance is getting under the skin of opposing coaches, like Coach Reeves, who seems hesitant to even talk about her. It's a classic case of competitive fire. Sometimes when the competition gets hot, it's hard to stay cool and objective. Clark's performance has sent shockwaves through social media. Forget a field day, it's a full-on victory parade for her. Everywhere you look on Twitter and Instagram, fans are sharing clips of her game changers, and they're not shy with their praise. Clark's getting showered with compliments. Some fans are even blasting Ree for not recognizing Clark's awesomeness. They're calling Ree out for being a bad sport, basically. This online buzz shows Clark has built a serious fan base, and they're ready to fight her corner and celebrate her wins. Even beyond her fans, sports commentators are talking about her too. They see the fan frenzy as a sign that Clark's a rising star in the league, and no one can ignore her anymore. The WNBA is abuzz after the recent incident involving Reeves and Clark. Analysts are dissecting its impact on the league. Some argue it reveals a flaw in how the WNBA develops young talent. They believe the league needs to do a better job of putting rising stars in the spotlight to cultivate a larger fan base and gain more recognition. Others point to Clark's ability to evoke strong emotions, both admiration and criticism, as a sign of her potential to be a marketing goldmine. They believe she has the makings of a central figure in the WNBA's future. This is a golden age for the WNBA, a chance to rewrite the rulebook for how they connect with fans and get young people hooked. Imagine a whole new wave of supporters for these incredible athletes. What do you think? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you next time.